Oh, happy almost gobble gobble, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Day before Thanksgiving, 3 games on the docket Thursday as opposed to the usual one. I don't know. Is it a loaded slate on Sunday, or we got a bunch of snoozers again?
But there's one snoozer. I think we're all well aware of which one it is. You know, the early game, everyone. It's a good thing lunchtime falls around 12:30 for some people because Lions Bears is not going to be the most entertaining matchup we've ever seen. We know we're getting Andy Dalton on the Bears. We're not getting to see Justin Fields. We don't know if Jared Goff's going to be back in time. So this could be Andy Dalton and Tim Boyle showdown in the middle of the afternoon on the holiday. The one game everyone stayed home not to watch. And,
even if Goff and Fields did play, it's still a snoozer.
It is still not a great game. But you know what? Because Fields isn't going to be playing, I'd say, perhaps Goff comes back and perhaps the Lions can
finally get a win.
Finally get a win, yeah. Because they're better than pretty much, in my opinion, they're the best they're the best winless team at this point of the season in NFL history because those other teams were genuinely the worst. But the Lions have cut it close with great teams a couple times this year. They've really put the pressure on. They should have beaten
Niners, Ravens.
Should have beaten the Niners and the Ravens. They should have beaten the Steelers. They should have beaten the Browns. I mean, they're clearly the best.
If Goff plays, they win.
Yeah, if Goff plays, they win, and they deserve a win. Sure, give them the number one overall pick. Great. They'll be thrilled with that. What they won't be thrilled with is going 16-1. And I respect them. I respect that. I think that they're better than they look. Obviously, still not good though.
I don't know. I really like watching Ford Field 12:30 on a Thursday. They always play like the same 4 people though, and I always hate it by the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bad for first part of it.
You have to really enjoy betting to bet on this game though.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick either team because I'd pick each team to lose perhaps, but I couldn't pick another one to win. It's unbearable.
Oh, I'm still going Detroit.
I'll take Detroit just because.
Detroit.
Yeah, if Fields wasn't playing, if Fields was playing, I might pick Chicago just because he's a young athletic quarterback who's capable of great things. But since he's not, yeah, Detroit all the way. They're a better team than they look, and the Bears, they're not great either. They're all the teams that they should beat on their schedule. This might be one of the most winnable games.
Raiders, Cowboys, 4:30, another big dinner slate.
See, I don't really have a lot of faith in the Raiders right now. They looked great, and they're still incredibly disciplined defensively, and that's something that stuck even after Gruden left. But the fact that they've dropped a couple of rough games in a row here is indicative of what's going on over there. They're barely a team right now, and even though they may be disciplined on the field and consistently getting their reps in on defense, the offense is a liability, and they the Cowboys have one of the premier defenses in the NFL right now. I fully expect
Josh Jacobs has been very inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he's on the field, and when he's off the field, he's just sitting there.
They have no run game at all.
No, which is shocking considering you have Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs. Got 2 guys who were getting Pro Bowl votes a year ago, 2 years ago, pretty much every year since they've been here.
He has 333 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's like a big dip from what he normally produces.
Yeah, he's getting a couple of red zone carries, but that's really where most of what he's done has come in. And, if they can't move the ball effectively because they can't lean on him, then they're all going to suffer for it.
What kind of surprises me, too, is how much Derek Carr's production has dropped in the last, month or so, 4, 5, 6 games. Like, he only has 3,000 yards, 16 TDs, and 9 interceptions. With how we started the season, I kind of expect it to be higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, he was in that early season MVP conversation and then dropped right off. And I don't think he would ever have gotten it, but it was encouraging to see him play like a guy whose name deserves to be mentioned every now and then. And I think it is in part due to, he lost Ruggs, and Ruggs was a big deal in that offense. And,
it all started when they lost John Gruden, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the beginning of the end for them. You don't lose a coach who's supposed to be on a 10-year contract like that suddenly and out of nowhere without.
What, 3 years in?
Yeah, it might even be
4. Yeah, 3 years in.
Yeah, 3 years in, I think. He's supposed to have most of his contract left. He's been turning that team around. He had been doing a decent job of it, but in the end, it didn't go his way.
Then the game you two will have your full undivided attention on: Bills Saints in the Dome. This stinks that it's in New Orleans. This would be like the greatest Bills Mafia game ever. Thanksgiving night.
Thanksgiving prime time?
In the Ralph, or whatever they call it now.
I just call it Ralph.
It's always going to be the Ralph. Hell, when they knock it down and build a new one coming soon, they'll still call that building the Ralph too, I'm sure. Might not be the same, but they'll call it. We're not changing our minds.
But, New Orleans gets another Thanksgiving game.
Mm-hmm.
And they may be down Kamara and Ingram, along with their 2 top offensive linemen.
Yeah, both the outside, but both their tackles and their top 2 running backs
didn't practice today or yesterday.
Yeah, I think one of the tackles is coming back, but I think it's
still kind of worrisome. 2 days before Thanksgiving that they still aren't practicing right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's concerning for sure, and their
offense still isn't that great even when Kamara plays.
Yeah, but Kamara is such an important part of the little success that they do have right now. And I mean, I fully respect the Saints as an opponent, but with the amount of injuries they've sustained in key areas throughout the course of the season, their defense has been banged up on and off all season.
Their defense is still putting up numbers too, though.
Oh yeah, they're great, but they can't stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, then they're going to have real issues because the areas that they need the most in this game, especially on their offensive side of the ball, are going to be hurt. The areas they need to take down Buffalo, who just sort of had the blueprint on them shown to the NFL by the Colts there. If you can't replicate that success, then you're out of luck. That's how you do it. You don't typically beat the Bills any other way.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo can't do what they normally do, like these little dink and dunks to Dawson Knox, Cole Beasley, anybody. They won't be able to run the ball against the Saints. No. You're going to have to beat them with these big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Get Stephon Diggs involved early. Get, Emmanuel Sanders and Gabe Davis involved because they won't be able to stop all 3 of them.
No. Especially if they just push them all back up the field and then, have Dawson Knox chip someone off the edge to help the offensive line and then, place the play as a safety net.
That's one thing that's going to worry me too, is that offensive line without Spencer Brown and going up against Cameron Jordan and Marcus Davenport.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a matchup nightmare for Josh and for the whole offense.
Yeah, I think they're going to be having Moss more likely than any other back, playing in that backfield in a
still worries
kind of role. Yeah, but Moss is the best blocking one out of the group right now. And he that's not high praise.
Just use Reggie Gilliam.
I would love Reggie Gilliam out there, but they clearly, they don't have that same faith in him. They're doing exactly what they did last season. They put him out there. They realized, this is it, do or die. This season we could win it all, and they start playing in a little bit of a safer role. They opened it up mid-season last year. I'm hoping we can do the same right now, but they tend to play it safe and keep guys like fullbacks and second, third string tight ends off the field.
What worries me too is the rest of the schedule, because our easy games were in the whole month of November, and that's out of the picture now. Yeah. Played Patriots twice. They don't impress me, but it's still the Patriots.
Yeah,
got the Buccaneers, got the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mac Jones doesn't though.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with Mac Jones. It's not it's not that he's not doing a great job for a rookie. He's doing everything that's been asked of him, but nothing he's had to do has been a difficult thing. It's all 5 yards this, occasionally a pass that goes as far as 10 yards, but sure, he has moments where he flashes, but when you just do the same few things over and over again, sure, it's effective. You can move the ball well, and he's doing.
And that's
good.
where veteran head coaches feast on is those young quarterbacks who aren't asked to do a lot. These vanilla offenses.
Yeah, and if either they open up the playbook with Mac Jones and he excels, or they fail to open it up and he'll eventually just get managed. Teams won't have to do much to beat him because we won't be able to do enough to beat them. I still think he has potential, and he could grow into being a very, very good starting quarterback. But
it's not right now, though.
No, it's not. I mean, this time next year I might be worried, but I'm not worried just yet.
While we're on the topic of Mac, they beaten the Titans this Sunday.
I hate to say so, but AJ Brown might be hurt. And if they're missing him, he was sort of the best thing they had left on offense to beat that Patriots secondary. Yeah, they could beat the Titans this Sunday. The Titans aren't as good as everyone thought they were. No team in the AFC is as good as everyone seems to think they are.
The NFL has been very surprising this year.
Yeah, it's been just such a shocking year week to week. We hear the term it's a week to week league a lot, but the number of upsets
it's actually
across the league
happening now.
Have never been this consistent.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
This random. We talked about the bad Thanksgiving games. I don't want to watch Seahawks Washington football team Monday night.
I wish that game could have been flexed because, as crazy as it sounds, nobody wants to watch a Russell Wilson-led Seahawks team right now.
No, he's been terrible.
His production has fallen off since that injury, and I'm kind of surprised about it.
Yeah, thing is, before the injury, he wasn't leading this team to great wins either. I mean, he was doing all right, just fine, but you expected more out of him, and even now that he's back, he's just not moving the ball well. He's not getting them even into the red zone. They're not even getting in field goal range for half of the game. I mean, they've barely had any points over the last 3 games total, and I feel let down because we expected better things. I mean, when they scheduled this Monday Night Football matchup, it was Washington who was supposed to be contenders in the for the NFC East, and the Seahawks who were supposed to be one of the best teams in the NFL, arguably, but they just haven't looked like that.
Seattle has nobody to match up against Terry McLaurin either.
No,
so he's going
to
feast with Taylor Heineke, just chucking the ball downfield to him.
Yeah, and if Taylor Heineke's about to tear up your secondary, it's not a good secondary.
I mean, it's never been a good secondary. When you have to start Sidney Jones, when you're forced to start him, it's bad secondary.
Yeah, it's never a good sign.
There's a couple other sneaky, maybe deceptive games, we'll call them. Bucks, Colts.
That's going to be a very good game.
Steelers, Bengals. Just a lot of implications. I feel like whatever team loses that, you can kind of write them off in the North.
Which is Steelers. So
Chargers, Broncos is just interesting because similar to the AFC North matchup, whoever loses that, it might be time for them. Rams, Packers is just going to be good because it's 2 teams that we think are going to be playing very late into January. And Browns, Ravens, it's NFC North.
Divisional.
Or AFC North, I should say. Excuse me.
Yeah, that AFC North is crazy fun to watch right now. I mean, so the Ravens are 1.5 games up on the Browns, and that's top and bottom place in their division right now. 7-3, 6-5. I mean, the Bengals are 6-4, the Steelers are 5-4. This division is as close as any in the NFL right now, and it's amazing to watch. I mean, it's the AFC North, the AFC West are both so close right now. The Broncos are only 1.5 games out of first in the AFC West, and they're in the bottom of their division. The only division that's there, that's it. Those 2 divisions are the closest in the league, and no other last place team right now really stands a shot at winning their division.
I don't know. Zach Wilson's back this week.
You're right. Let's watch him win every single game on the rest of the schedule, and that'll take the Jets to 9-8. The new 8-8, the new 9-7. It's it'll be real thrilling to watch them.
That's an embarrassing record.
They get to draft 14th, 15th. Get yourself a nice new Pro Bowl interior guard, perhaps.
At least you get to enjoy the Seattle pick.
Oh yeah, they're gonna really love that one next year if Seattle continues to do exactly what they're doing this year.
I think they're projected 5th right now, 5th or 6th with that Seattle pick.
That's pretty solid, and I think they're right now 4th, right? 3rd?
Second.
Yeah. Nice. Well, for just beating the Texans and Jaguars on a tiebreaker?
I think so, yes.
I think it goes off
strength. In fact, just say Jaguars.
What was I about to say? I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say. Either of you got anything?
I mean, this Rams-Packers game is going to be very good, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited.
This has a lot of implications for the Rams, just to see how much they've improved since the bye week with Odell and Von Miller there now. See if they can actually gel together, or if they're still the Rams that we saw before the bye week.
Yep. Because they were really declining there for a moment, and I think that they'll take that week off. McVay has consistently, thrown everything at the wall and seen what sticks with the Rams, and I think that they're going to come out of this bye week looking better than they have been because they started this season like Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, they got these new pieces in their offense and defense, and they need to figure out if and how they work to make this team succeed going forward.
It would take some time too.
Yeah,
it wasn't going to all just gel together. First game, first drive, first everything. It was going to take probably a week or two, and they got that week or two to figure it out right now. So we'll see how they do against a terrible Packers defense.
Absolutely. And I think that, this game against the Packers, the Packers are, they've got certain strengths on their defense, but none of them are going to come out and match what the Rams are doing.
They don't have the corners to match up against Rams receivers either.
No, not at all.
King,
the loss of Robert Woods is big, but they've just got Odell Beckham Jr., and I think that's sort of a player for a player there.
Yeah, that signing came at a perfect time, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, Woods does a lot for that offense, and they're going to need OBJ to do similar things, which works well for OBJ because it means he'll be getting some targets.
I think they're still stacked at receiver, too, even without Robert Woods, because they still got Van Jefferson, who I think is good. I know X is going to clown me for that.
I like Van Jefferson.
Yeah, he's a great.
I think he's very productive with the limited reps he gets.
Oh yeah, he takes a lot of 15, 20-yard catches downfield when they really need them.
All right, let's get into it. Bryce. Who's the green bean casserole? It's the National Football League. To preface this, Bryce doesn't like green bean casserole, but he likes green beans. So separate, yes. Together with cream of whatever and some fried onions, no.
Oh, you want cream of mushroom soup in your casserole?
Oh, I can't stand mushrooms. I can't stand all of it. So yeah.
Well, it's not actual mushrooms in the soup, but I understand.
No,
yes.
But still,
what, imitation mushrooms. Eau du mushroom.
So with that information, do what you will.
Yep, Bryce, who is it?
I gotta go with Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, that's twice we've mentioned them. I feel like we haven't talked about them in weeks for good reason. But continue.
But they have a good offense on paper, but they don't have that quarterback to take them over the top, and they don't have the head coach to really help this team. And I think they're going to have to rebuild and trade most of their pieces to be able to get that quarterback and get where they want to be. Because they just traded Von Miller, and Bradley Chubb's constantly hurt, so there goes, 80-90% of your defense right there. I mean, they don't have corners. Do they still have Bradley Roby? No, he's with the Saints. Who's that corner I'm thinking of? Bryce Callahan. He hasn't lived up to expectations. Kyle Fuller, he's been on trade block and he's looked pitiful this year. They don't have as many pieces as you might think.
Yeah, seems like they'll need an offensive-minded head coach, and Jason Garrett just became available.
Someone other than Vic Fangio.
Jason Garrett, did you just say?
Yeah, he slides in there perfect.
I mean, Adam.
I think he's starting to say Adam Gase, and I don't know. Okay, you back, Bryce?
Yeah, what was that?
You said Adam, and then I assumed you were going Adam Gase.
Yeah,
I just said get Adam Gase in there if you're going to go for Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
Well, the QB guru, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, both of them are considered QB gurus, and they're both terrible, so why not go for both of them?
That checks out.
Get one at coordinator, get one at head coach.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
All right, Iestyn. Who's the weird uncle that you only see one time a year at Thanksgiving and always wants to bring up uncomfortable conversation?
I mean,
as an NFL team.
As an individual, that's Jerry Jones. But
no, like as a whole team.
As an NFL team. You know what? Crap. I think it's Carolina. I mean, we're talking about them more than usual lately, but like they come up once every 3 or 4 weeks. You know, you hear about them, and they tell us all about 2015. We understand, we get it. Okay, it's cool, but we don't want to talk about it anymore. It's fine. Just we remember. Don't worry. We were all there.
They're good on paper, but it's not showing up on game day.
Yeah, they're the Cam signing, as much as I enjoy it, and I think Cam Newton's great fun. It's just them. They're them desperate for someone to help try and make this team contending because they have a lot of good parts, but they can't put it together. And Cam Newton's not the kind of Band-Aid who's going to win them a playoff game or anymore.
And what's sad is next year they're paying Sam Darnold $18 million.
Yeah, no matter what happens.
5th-year option.
Oh yeah, and I think that's incredibly funny to me because they're never going to trade him with that price tag either.
No.
But to be fair, I mean, there were no better options on the market. They didn't see themselves, with the roster they had, drafting highly the next year for a quarterback. So what were they going to do?
So you go with a broken Sam Darnold, though. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I honestly, it makes sense. To me, it does make sense, but especially because they were gambling on him being better, and if he was better, they would have looked like geniuses. He didn't need to be great. If he was just, 15th to 20th in the league, they would have looked like they were in a good spot with him. But obviously, it didn't work out that way.
I'm gonna say the Patriots. Now it's gonna seem like I'm hating on them again, but not like that. I think it makes us uncomfortable that they might actually be back after the unfortunate 1-year absence. I think that the conversation of them being a top 5 team kind of makes us all squirm in our skin. Kind of like when your uncle asks you what your girlfriend's like and you're like, oh, she goes to a different school, and you know that the girl doesn't really exist.
It's every week with that girlfriend thing. Are you all right? Are you okay?
I'm just trying to be relatable because I feel like relationships in sports, like somebody should make a podcast about like how to date a girl that's a sports fan, and then just like talk about sports also. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I respect it. A whole podcast about like dating a sports fan in particular, though, or maybe would it just be like a girls and sports podcast where you come on, you talk about relationships and you talk about sports, because I would watch that. I would listen to that. But I don't know, if someone said, "Hi, welcome to my podcast about how to speak to sports girls specifically," I would go, "Great, cool, all 2 episodes," and then I'm good. I feel like we need some diversity in there, like give me the longevity, market this to me.
But there's a podcast for you, Stephen.
Yeah.
Because I don't already got enough going on. I need another podcast to do. But yeah, Patriots, they're just going to keep showing up, and they're going to keep bringing up things that we really don't want to talk about, because nobody outside of Northeast Massachusetts wants to think about the Patriots like actually going back to the Super Bowl, because we hate it.
They're not going back to the Super Bowl this year. I'm right on paper right now.
I'm just saying, the fact that it's a possibility that we might have to have that talk.
See, Stephen, here's the thing, is that I don't want it. So I'm pretending it doesn't happen.
get it, but your uncle is going to come.
I'll move house. It's fine.
No, but they're going to show up, and they're going to be there somehow. You're going to be like, new phone, who dis? But your uncle is still there. And he makes the same terrible jokes, and he's still old, and you still don't really like him, but you have to respect him. And now Mac Jones is like your new step-aunt or aunt-in-law or half-aunt, whatever you want to call it.
My step-aunt, in-law,
cousin.
half-aunt, yeah.
And it's like
7 times removed and thrice added.
My new aunt can do what my old aunt did, but younger and fatter.
Okay, I'd love to say I'm following, but you kind of lost me. Yeah.
Is this some personal vendetta against your family?
It's a vendetta. It's this vendetta specifically against his step aunt / in-law /
No, it's
cousin.
I barely know either one of my uncles. I know even less about the aunts. Nothing about the cousins.
Yeah, I moved very far away from all my relatives, so here I am.
Yeah, and then the other half of mine are all in Italy, so
there you go.
Never gonna meet them.
Well, so you say. What happens if you go to Italy?
I wouldn't know how to contact them. I would have to just get one of those planes that writes in
Run
the air.
into them.
I wouldn't even know what they looked like, where they lived. Anyways.
Just wear a big sign that says, "My name is Stephen Hymers, and I'm a relative of some people here. If you recognize my name, give me a call at blank."
Yeah.
Put up the big sign and get on TV at a major Italian sporting event,
Juventus. Milan.
Italy's not really good at sports, so
Roma.
I say Italy's not good at sports. They did just beat England in the Euros, so I can't really say that, but it's cruel of you to say this to me. Hurts my heart so much on such a day as this.
Bryce, you like pie? You gonna have a little pie Thursday night?
Yeah, I like some pie.
Maybe get a little whipped cream on your nose. I don't know why I said that. I really shouldn't have. That was weird. All right.
Oh my god.
Pumpkin
what is
pie.
This turning into? Last 2 podcasts.
Yeah, this is some weird ASMR sports stuff.
It's okay. We got the sports out of the way early.
Yeah.
This is the bonus content,
Yeah.
Support us on Patreon.
Stephen Hymers After Dark.
All right, Bryce. Who's the pumpkin pie of the Shield?
Oh, what's it?
The pumpkin pie of the Shield.
That's the NFL logo nickname, not the WWE faction.
Ugh. Is this good pumpkin pie or bad?
Well, do you like pumpkin pie?
Hang on, there's bad pumpkin pie?
Oh, okay,
Bryce.
So okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's say the
Bryce is allergic to food, guys.
Half the
Any food.
Analysts, fans, whatever you want to call it, are really high on, and the other half, like you, not a fan.
Oh,
what is
okay,
that
that's
team?
Curious.
All right, that's not bad. That's tough. I kind of want to go with the Titans. It might surprise some people, but
I think that's fair.
That Julio Jones trade just pretty much skyrocketed them into Super Bowl championship, whatever talks for the whole offseason. And then they just had pretty much no passing game for the first 2 months of the season. And now Derrick Henry's gone. So what are you going to do in offense? They haven't been able to score a lot of points. And they lost to the freaking Jets of all teams. There you go, Steven. But yeah, they barely have a defense too. They lost to Dory Jackson. I just don't like that how that team is set up for the future. They lost Corey Davis and who's that tight end? Jonnu Smith. They're losing key pieces to that offense, and they just didn't really match up.
Jeez, Dame just hit one from the logo. That was crazy. All right, let's talk. All right, Iestyn, you want to compare a team to macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving, which I think super weird. I don't get why people do it.
But it's good though. But it's
not
good.
like a Thanksgiving.
It's
food.
not a Thanksgiving.
Are you eating it on Thanksgiving? It counts. No. I eat lamb on Thanksgiving. On Christmas. That's a Christmas food to me. Like that's just what
but
you
you're
do.
Canadian. You're Canadian.
Okay, the lamb's not a Canadian thing. That's an English thing. Somebody
get it right,
Bryce.
I can just blame a lot of stuff on you being Canadian. So
that's fair. I feel like I just tried a lot of this.
I just tried to land.
I bring it on myself.
On the NHL account, somebody just liked a bunch of the pictures, and their account is Toilets of Texas, and it's just a bunch of pictures of toilets in the state of Texas.
But
I gotta stop.
It lives up to the name.
They like our hockey content, apparently. Checks out.
All right, so compare a team to stuffing then. Disclaimer.
Ooh, okay, stuffing
my
is
favorite Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, dude, I'll just eat stuffing. Just give me a bowl of stuffing and like gravy, and I'm good.
Oh yeah,
that's
a pile full of gravy.
Oh yeah, that's a gumbo now, and I'm eating it. I will Okay, so in that case, what, the best team in the league? Is that pretty much what you're asking for from me?
Pretty much.
Because honestly, this might be controversial, just considering.
All right, how about this? What's the best team? But you can't just eat stuffing because your parents won't let you. So it's the best team, but leaves you needing to have something else or wanting more, if you will.
The Rams. I've been high on the Rams all season, but it's their recent sort of missteps leaves you wondering and leaves you worried. They've lost to a couple teams they really should have beaten, and they're in a very tough division. And Arizona has been incredibly fortunate to stay one place, 1.5 games above them on the schedule, having played 3 games with a backup quarterback. If the Cardinals didn't have such incredible talent around Kyler Murray, then this would be a much different question. But the Rams, there's just something not quite there. They might need to win out to take over the top spot in the division, but you will find them in the playoffs, and you will find them winning games when they get there. But there's just something, you can't quite have it. They don't have it all.
Very fair. But then, you're going to keep coming back to it just because, you have so much, so you want to give it the benefit of the doubt.
It's so good anyway. You'll keep watching them on TV. There's not a single week this season I haven't thought to myself, maybe I should tune into the Rams game, because the Rams are so fun to watch.
And
besides maybe 2 games, they have a fairly easy schedule too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hype up the Seahawks, but they always play them tough every year, no matter how good or bad either team is. Then they got the Ravens and the Cardinals up after the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So they could easily lose by 2 more games.
Yeah. And they can't really afford to.
Controversial take. I would say top 10, top 5 uniforms in the NFL.
Interesting. The IKEA boys.
The false white jerseys, great. Bone white, whatever you want to call it.
I love the gray. I'm actually a huge fan of the gray jerseys.
The all white, great.
Those are nice, yeah.
The blue, great jerseys, and it goes well with SoFi.
I mean, like the yellow and blue is a great pairing. I just think they have the wrong yellow and the wrong blue. Like it's so close to great, but if they just changed it a little bit, we wouldn't get those IKEA vibes off them.
That's gonna do it for Week 12 Thanksgiving preview. We even talked about like the meal, not just the games.
This
is the whole package.
Yeah, we talked about everything from football to.
I mean, we didn't talk about the parade
women.
Though. We could have jammed in some balloon talk there.
Some balloon
Is anyone
talk?
here going to watch it? The Thanksgiving parade.
I mean,
I'm in the wrong country, guys. I've already got this Christmas background on. My Thanksgiving was like end of October, beginning of November. Like,
is there anyone here?
Hmm?
Stephen, are you going to watch it though?
I mean, I'll be at work, so it'll be hard for me.
Yeah. Set up
if I wasn't, I would.
I haven't watched the Thanksgiving Day parade probably since I was 12.
Yeah, because you got too big time. You run the world's best football Instagram, and you got too old for a parade.
Which I started when I was 12, by the way.
Yeah, you became an adult.
See? There you go.
Yeah.
That's all the time for Week 12.
Right before our eyes.
We kind of been all over the place this week. We're gonna regroup. We're gonna watch too much football. We're gonna eat a lot of food.
Gain 15 pounds.
Bryson and Brooks.
Oh, I'm getting
Friday.
drunk.
The match in Vegas. That's Wavelengths. Happy gobble gobble, everybody.
When don't eat, Iestyn.